Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm doing a voiceover of my lesson with Team GB rider Gareth Hughes. I hope you enjoyed the video. My last one got a really good response. As always, if you enjoy them, please give my page a like and subscribe, and yeah, tell your friends. Okay, so basically I just start by showing Gareth my canter, and all I'm doing is just cantering around the edge, trying to make sure that it's got enough jump in it and that he's supple. Every now and again you'll just notice me bending him both ways and trying to make sure he's nice and soft over his neck. And like I say, this just gives me a chance to kind of show Gareth where I'm at with it, because obviously I haven't seen him for a month, and then we just do a little change across the diagonal, which he does very nicely. It stays very straight, and then we just have a little canter on the other way as well. And he was really happy with it. He said it got loads of control in it, which is good. Basically what I'm doing in today's lesson is working a little bit on the pirouettes, and funnily enough, we don't actually do a pirouette in our lesson on pirouettes today. It's like prep for pirouettes and how you can help the pirouettes. So just canter onto the other end, do another little change. I'm really sorry that occasionally the camera goes super dark. It's just because of the light coming in. But anyway, let's not get too much into that because it's boring. So yeah, so really chuffed with his canter, got loads of jump in it, and it's really adjustable, and that's one of the main things you want to get with an advanced horse, that you can kind of move it around, move his body around, move his neck around, and he's really supple. I can send him forward and bring him back quite easy, and that is actually what I'm going to do now on this 20-meter circle. So basically the exercise is we pop him on a 20-meter circle and we do some on and backs in the canter. Now those of you that don't know what on and backs are, it's basically the on is sending them forward and the back is, yes, you guessed it, bringing them back. So putting him back into a bit of collection, like you can see now. I sit him and bring him back, and then I can push him forward out of that, bring him back into collection, send him forward out of that. And one of the reasons this is so important is because in the pirouettes, if you've ever watched them be ridden, or if you've ever ridden them yourself, you'll know that you have to super duper collect before you ask for a pirouette. So this is why it's quite important that you can create the collection in the canter on a 20-meter circle, because if you can't, then you probably can't do a pirouette, because a pirouette is actually just an extremely collected canter, and then you turn at the same time. It's, you can't physically do it and go forward. They have to come back to you. So all we're doing on this 20-meter circle is just making sure that I can send him on and back. Okay, so what we go on to do now is a pirouette exercise, where we basically canter up the school, do a 1.5 10-meter circle in travers. If you can see, he's in travers now because his quarters are coming in and he's got a little bit of inside bend, and we do that on the circle. So I'm asking his quarters to come in. So we do 1.5 10-meter circles, and then we come back down the school. And what you can see as well is I'm actually putting him into travers, taking him out of travers, putting him into travers, taking him out of travers again, just making sure that he's adjustable. Because another problem is, again, if your horse starts to get more advanced, they start to second guess the movements that you're doing. And what you occasionally see with Leggy is I put my left leg to go back into travers, and he like falls in straight away, because I've done actual on the spot pirouettes with him. Every time I put him on a circle and put him into the travers, he's like, oh, you're going to want me to turn. So he goes to like drop in and spin, and that's been a real issue I've been having with him. Rather doing this exercise, you're one, building up the muscle correctly because you're making them sit and collect. You're two, you're essentially asking them the same aids for a canter pirouette, because the left leg comes back and asking for collection. That was a terrible transition, I'm sorry about that. But yeah, and then by doing the circle, you're riding them in and out of the circle, and again, you're just getting that adjustability that I spoke about at the start of it. Okay, the reason that I stopped and Gareth has now got involved is because I couldn't get the gist of this exercise, as in where you're meant to do it. So I was kind of just doing a circle circle anywhere, cantering down the school, doing a circle anywhere. But he was like, you can't just do it anywhere, because that's not how it works in a dressage test. In a dressage test, it says pirouette at, or do something at this marker, and I've got to be stricter with my riding. And in all fairness, I have a terrible habit of just like not picking a marker. It's the same whenever you do a half pass, is, you know, always ride to that marker, don't just go across on any random diagonal line. So what he's actually doing now is making me start at P, or start at R, and finish at that marker. And he just said it's so important in training that you start to be really accurate with your riding. And again, for me, who doesn't have a horse that has like a massive flashy canter, a massive moving, you know, I need to get as many points as I can. So by becoming a more accurate rider and really riding to the markers, it's going to help me a hell of a lot. So moving on from the canter now, we did lots of those canter exercises, and like I say, we didn't actually do the canter pirouettes this time, and now we're doing a little bit of trot work. Now again, I keep going on about how he's advanced, and it does sometimes make it more difficult. Leggy now knows a little bit of piaffe, he definitely knows the passage, he knows extended trot, and he knows collected trot. And what I was being told is that that's great, however, I'm finding it quite hard to just find my normal collected trot, my normal trot that I'm going to do from one marker to another. And he was basically saying that there's no point in knowing all these trots and then not being able to trot from one marker to the other. So like trot from the half pass to the corner to the other side of the school. And he was saying even in the Grand Prix you have to trot to the passage and trot to the piaffe. You can't just do some random trot, because, you know, rhythm is one of the biggest scales on the scale of training, and if you start to lose rhythm, especially at my level, you know, you're really going to get marked down for it. And again, we're trying to make as many marks as possible, because you know, they don't hand the marks over to us. But so what he was basically saying was pop him on a 20-metre circle and don't come off the 20-metre circle until you have the trot that you want, so you feel like he's really in your hands and he's swinging over his back and he's where you want him. And actually doing those few circles with him really helped me, and I have been struggling at home with trying to figure out how to just get my normal trot, because I've been trotting around the edge, and like I say, sometimes he wants to go into passage, sometimes he doesn't want to go into passage, and I'm just like, oh, just trot like a normal horse. But this trot now is really nice. You know, you can see, again, I know there's not super suspension and loads of cadence, but it's rhythmical. He's flicking his toe a little bit. He's nice and forward without running away. So I was actually really, really happy with this trot. And what Gareth was basically saying is to make this trot better, we would just add cadence into it. But what happens a lot of the time is when we try to add cadence, we lose rhythm. And again, go back to the scales of training, and rhythm is the biggest, big one at the bottom. So we are doing some half passes, and again trying to stick to our scales, making sure rhythm stays the same. So what we're trying to do is, so like, this is a really nice trot now, is that he doesn't fall out of rhythm just because we're in a half pass. So I was just kind of 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2 the whole time, trying not to lose my rhythm. I was actually really happy with this half pass because he's got so much more supple than he used to be. And again, because he's massive, because he's 17.3, when he has to bend a hell of a lot more than a smaller horse. So he's got loads of bend. He's looking really supple in that, so I'm super happy with that. And then we go and do it to the right, and what he was saying is make sure you point his ears to the marker. So at this point we're pointing the ears to R, and this is actually his less supple rein, so sometimes he finds this a little bit harder going this way. So again, what he wants to do is either lose bend and flexion, or the other thing is he'll give me bend and flexion but we'll lose the rhythm in the trot. So we just do it one last time to the left, come around the corner, position him, point his ears to where we need to go, and then I swing my right leg back to push him over. And again, I just need to watch that his quarters don't lead. Because he's actually more supple this way, what he wants to do is push his quarters over, and then his quarters are leading. So we do that and then send him a little bit more forward, and you can't see it because it's dark, I'm sorry. But anyway, I was super happy with that, absolutely over the moon with my lesson, and look at him, he was a good boy wandering off. So I really hope you've enjoyed that video. If you have, I'd love to read your comments, so just leave them in the comment section below. I have got another lesson next week. This is with my other trainer, Diane Breeze. So I'll be sure to keep putting out my training videos, because they're not only, I think, good for you guys to just see our progress, they're really good for me to like look back on my own progress as well. So yeah, as always, I hope you enjoyed yourself. Give the channel a subscribe, and I will see you next time.